Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Retrospective Progression. I'm Aredawg, the creator hero. To start off, I do want to apologize if you hear any weird fan noises in the background. I mean, summer's in full swing over here, and yeah, we've got fans going. Also, I thought I would do a little bit of explaining why my mob farm didn't work last episode, and hopefully I can get that information out and in an explainable way. So let's head over there, and yeah, hopefully it's not a me issue; it's a game issue. Here we are at the mob farm, and I've kind of disabled it right now because it's obviously not working. And in my research, I've actually found out that there is a reason for that, and it has to do with the version that I'm in, version 1.1.2._01. Yeah, mob spawning from Alpha 1 to now is completely different, and what's that noise? Is it that entrapment chamber again? It made that weird noise, and suddenly that chest was gone. Let's go check that out. All right, let's see what we've got in here. Temporal and quantum. That's it. Paint. Wait, what? What is this supposed to represent? Like, it clicks? Wait. Whoa, wait a second. Are we on now? Oh. Hello and welcome to the Minecraft Alpha Mob Spawning Guide. This video is to be used for all mob spawning rules before Alpha 1.2.0. First, a few key notes. This information has been compiled by Frostbite124 and Wabata in 2010. So, let's jump into the guide. Mobs will only spawn on blocks that are within a 144 by 144 area around the player. Mobs will also not spawn within 24 blocks of the player. Difficulty does not affect frequency of spawns either. Hostile mobs cap at 200 and spawn at light level 7 and below, while passive mobs cap at 15 and spawn at 9 and above. We can now test out the spawning algorithm using this block of amethyst as a guide. The local 81 chunks will be randomized into a semi-random list. The algorithm will select a chunk from the list and roll a random number. Here, we can see that this chunk is the first selected, and if it will not choose this, the second chunk will be chosen at random. There is a 1 in 10 chance that the chunk will be chosen. A random location will be chosen within the chunk. If this area is inside a solid location, the loop will bail out and ignore the rest of the chunks in the list. If it is a legal area, there will be 6 locations selected around the location. We now need to check to see if any of these new locations chosen are legal. However, there is one caveat to this. Let us assume we have chosen a location that is near the player. We will now select our 6 locations around the main location. If the mob is chosen within 24 blocks of the player, it will automatically fail, causing the next location to be chosen. Similarly, if a location is not a legal spawning area, it will fail as well and pick the next location. The light level of the block will now be called. For hostile mobs, a random number is rolled between 0 and 7. If the light level is less than the number, then the hostile mob will spawn. For friendly mobs, if the light level is above 8, the passive mob will spawn. Once a mob is spawned, it moves to the next location. And once all locations are chosen, we return to the main loop. A new location is chosen, and 6 similar locations are chosen around it. The process continues as the game progresses. The algorithm runs 20 times a second and runs once for hostile mobs and once for passive mobs. Light levels don't funnel mobs around, and having more spawning floors will cause the bailout clause to occur. The only chunk that is not affected by this is 0-0. Happy hunting! That was weird. This thing is weird. I just don't I don't get it. But it kind of explained a little. The last 10 seconds were probably the most important part, but yeah. Okay. What I'm kind of gathering from that weird instructional video is that obviously if we have a spawning platform that's kind of here, there's a chance that a mob during the main spawn algorithm will find a block that's kind of not a spawnable place, or it's within solid stone, and therefore will completely fail the entirety of that single mob spawn. And once it fails out of that, then it has to move to the next one in the next 20th of a second. So the second part is that light levels don't actually move mobs around where you want them to. That's a little weird. And from what I'm gathering a little bit more from the referenced posts, well, referenced information that what I found a post on Minecraft forums, that basically says it's best if you find a low area where there's not a whole lot of, well, let me put it this way. You find a low area where there are a lot of mob spawns, and that's where you can set up your mob farm. It won't be perfect, but it's alpha. So if I'm reading it correctly from the Minecraft forum that was done by Frostbite, the 0-0 chunk, which is this chunk here, this a 16 by 16 block chunk here that goes from bedrock all the way up to 128. This chunk will always be evaluated first, if I remember reading that correctly. So if you're within the 9 by 9 chunk area and 0-0 is within it, this 0-0 will always have a mob that will spawn here. Depending on the light level, it could be a passive mob or it could be a hostile mob. So if I was to do anything here, this should work if I have a mob farm up here. I just have to make it small enough that it would work. Let me test it out. Let me see if this is the 0-0 or, because I think this is positive 0-0, and then obviously if I remember correctly, north is negative, south is positive, and west is negative, and east is positive, which in my brain just doesn't make any sense. So I believe this is the chunk that I want to do my test. So let me go get some blocks and get this set up and see if we can get some spawns going that are actually going to work. All right, so here we go. Built up a little bit of a platform up top at build level to basically just kind of have a nice little area here. And then I built 4 levels of a 16 by 16 area. And as you can see, I actually have 6 skeletons that spawned right there. And there's a creeper up and they're starting to despawn and disappear, but it does look like this actually had a lot more. So I think this actually works because this should be chunk 00. Again, that's to the south, that's to the west, which means positive, positive, and that should mean that's chunk 00 right there. So I think this is where I'm gonna need to put a little bit of a temporary mob spawner, and see if I can get some stuff again. It's not gonna be 100% because I think if I was to do that, I may want to dig down further to like bedrock down here, but that's a lot of stuff to go through, and yeah, that's that's a lot. So I'm just gonna get down from here and figure out a way to make this a better mob farm. So I just got up here, and I just want to show off this weird lighting glitch. Yeah, it's a little odd. Interesting. All right, so here we have the finished mob tower. It's got only 4 layers on it, and I actually have a zigzagging pattern of water going through it. So it's flowing out from this direction, coming to a singular point, flowing out this direction, and coming to a singular point. As you can see, we are getting some spawns. As you can see that spider right there. They should try to be able to focus towards that central column. And I actually did check on the wiki. Spiders can't climb until beta. So this should be able to work no matter what for... Yep, there we go. There we got a spider going. So yeah, it falls all the way down there. All mobs will do. So they'll just kind of snake their way down and come to a central point, fall down on the ground. So let's actually go down there. And as you can see, we've got string on the ground. So if we have any other mobs, like we'll have, gunpowder, arrows, and oh, yeah, arrows for days, gunpowder, feathers, and string. And apparently, skeletons can still fire at me if they're fallen. Ooh, yeah, want to be careful of that. Ooh. Oh, that's fun. Oh, I like that. That's kind of funny. But that should be all the skeletons, and yeah. So I guess I'll do a little bit of AFK, maybe get some stuff here. But the big issue with this is, of course, there's no auto collection system. So I actually have to stand here and do that. So as you saw with the skeletons, like, they can fire at me. And I bet you if I was close enough to a creeper, they might just explode before they hit the ground. In fact, there's a couple creepers. It sounds like they want to, but I don't think they have enough time to. But hey, yeah, this is working. That 00 chunk spawning area, that is the 00 right there, chunk. Which means that we are going to be getting a lot of stuff, and we'll keep this up until we upgrade to the next beta version. And with getting this much gunpowder, I think I can start doing TNT, so I might do some TNT mining and see if I can get some more diamonds, which means I need to do a little bit more research to see if this chunk is better for diamonds, or if that chunk is better for diamonds, or not chunk. Quadrant, because I think in anything pre 1.6 it's based on quadrant, and if you're in a positive area, it's pretty much a higher rate than if you're in a negative, or even any type of negative. So yeah, I mean, we've got ourselves a good little mob farm, and I'll just let it run and gather up some supplies whenever I feel like it. Now that we've got a way to renew our TNT supplies, I'm going to do a little bit of a testing here. Because I was reading on the wiki that if you place a TNT down and you punch it, but then you punch it again. Oh, nope. Never mind. Ow. It says hitting an already active TNT now diffuses it and allows the player to pick it up. Now, this was available back in, looks like it's Classic. And it looks like uh, it isn't till beta that the cancellation of detonation can be canceled after its prime. So I'm not 100% sure how that works. Like, if you place it down and you hit it, yeah, you can't hit it again. So I don't understand what they mean by, oh yeah, you can hit an already active TNT block to defuse it. There might be something that I'm missing. The wiki might be right, and I'm just missing what that piece is. But yeah, I'm not going to worry about that right now. The other test I want to do is I've got all this stone here, and I want to make let's make a 5x5 area. I'm going to do it in the water because why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to do a 5x5x5 area. And I want to see if this will actually drop 100% of the blocks. And again, looking at the wiki, it doesn't look like this will actually work until we get into 1.14. So if I was to, say, make this 5x5 block, we're going to leave the center open, and we're actually going to leave a little opening here. So that way we can punch it and then close it all in. This will at least tell us how big of an explosion we can get with stone, and essentially allow us to see how much blocks we can get, how many blocks we can get back, to test to make sure that that is the case, that it is not 100% drop. Because I mean, if that's the case, I mean, it's not a big deal if I'm going to be going and mining diamonds with this, because I should only be using 1 TNT at a time. And that would mean that if I do end up like hurting a diamond, I can just pick that diamond right, or hurt a diamond ore that'll drop the diamond, which means I can pick that diamond up because I'm not chaining my TNT. So we'll do that, and we'll do that, and we'll step back. Okay, and that does that. And let me just go do this. So I've got myself a full stack. So let's see. 1, 2. It's 2. And then we had 10. So we had a 3x3. This is 9. 27. Yeah, that is debunked. That is not debunked. That is factual. That TNT, when you explode something in the center of it, you don't get 100% of your drops back. So that's good to know. In fact, I don't think I really want this thing here, so we'll just do this, and that's not good. Bye. Run, run. Ooh. Yep. That was fun. Here we are in the southeast quadrant of the world that I've generated, and as you can see, there's my eastern border, and if we went a little bit further this way, you'd be seeing our southern border. Our northern midline is right down there, but I figured this was a good enough distance because I don't think I've gotten out here with my little mining tower and such. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a circular pattern here when I go down. And basically I'm just going to actually have a bunch of shovels for this, so I can just do this. I'm just going to dig down kind of in a circular pattern, going around in a and then just kind of leaving a little bit of light going on, so that way I'm not totally in the dark, but you know, just get all the way to the bottom. I want to be at least, I think it's 10 or 12 blocks above the actual end, or the void, um, which that that shouldn't be too hard to get because that's where lava spawns. And if I find any like pockets of like caves and such, well then I'll try and ignore them. But what I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna do a little bit of test to see how much ore I can get um, in each of the quadrants, finding a location that might be good for each of them. And yeah, I will kind of show you what I've got once I'm done with this one here, and we can move on to the next one. So I've dug out the area that I'm kind of basically doing a little test on to see how many resources I can gather. The area that I gave, including there was a little bit of iron ore up this way. This is pretty much what I got so far, and as you can see, there's quite a few resources that I can pick up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up all these resources and replace them with cobblestone and see how much I actually get. And yeah, look, I got a little bit of diamond there, so that's nice. So I'll go do that, and I'll get you the final total in this area, and then we'll kind of keep that on the spreadsheet or something. Alright, so I followed each ore to their natural conclusions. I didn't go any further than that. I didn't like dig around to see if there was anything. So if there was anything, like if I had a 2x2 like thing right here, and I dug into here, and this was ore, I didn't check to see if there was ore in this area. But it gave me a good idea of what we've got so far, and this is what we've gathered in this version of our mining. So we got a good amount of redstone, a fair amount of iron, and a few diamonds, as well as some coal. A lot of the other stuff, well, again, if I do need the resources, it's easy to find. So, yeah, this is how much we gathered in the southeast quadrant. So, I think I'm gonna go towards the northeast quadrant, which I believe might be that direction or that direction. I don't remember which way, but yeah, we'll head out in that direction first. So here we are, kind of in the northeastern quadrant. That's where the border is, and I'm gonna do a little bit of a digging around here. Don't think I've really shown off the northeastern quadrant too much, but most of it's hills and maybe a little bit of lake here. So we're just gonna start digging. So I've dug down here. Haven't got the ores in the wall yet, but this is what we've got so far. Let me go get all the ores in the wall, and I'll show you what I got done there. And here we have the ore after we've dug out all the stuff that we can. So not as much here, but we still got some diamonds, so that's actually pretty good. But we definitely got less redstone, maybe about the same coal, and I think we did get a little bit more iron, but yeah, redstone's a little less here. So let's go to the next place. All right, so I'm underneath the mob farm. Again, disabled because I'm going to re-enable it once we're in the next version. And I'm going to just kind of dig down here, which means I'm going to need to open this up a little bit, and I'm also going to need to get some of this going so I can not drown. So I'm going to work on that, and once I get the base set up again like I have before, I'll show you where I'm at, and we'll see how much resources I can get, and then get all the information there. So, well, this is interesting. I was just digging out my hole here to see how far down I can go, and yeah, this is level 1, and right there, that is void space. Yeah, it looks like in alpha you can spawn a couple of things here. This is just a stone block, so I just broke that stone block, and yeah, that's void. So we're just gonna do that. Alright, dug this place out. There does seem to be a lot of zombie spawns up here, so either this is a nice dark cave, or there's actually a zombie spawner up there, but Unless I actually get ore that gets me up there, I'm not going to worry about it. And this is what I got from just digging out the area. And yeah, no exposed diamonds yet on this level, but yeah, we'll see once we get all the stuff out of the walls. And here we are with what we got after I pulled out all the ore. The gold and these brown mushrooms. I actually found a not down this one, but down in this one up here. There is actually, and kind of right up here too. There's just this long little bit here that has nothing in it. So that's where I found the gold. I found a little bit of coal, and I found the mushrooms. So that's. But as you can see, it's not a whole lot, and I didn't get any diamonds in this one. So this doesn't have a whole lot. So we'll go to our final one, which is the southwest corner, and hopefully we can get more ores, or at least see if that's the case, whether or not that corner's good, or if it's the other southern corner. And here we are in the last quadrant. So you can kind of see there's a little bit over here where that's the border. And then if I was to go up here, I think you should be able to see. Yeah, there's the other border. So we've got the corner border there. I think this is a good position. So let me just go ahead and dig on down and, well, see what we get. Well, I think this area might be a little bit of a bust if I'm trying to just, do a little bit of testing because, yeah, I got myself into a big cave, and if I go all the way down, which would be about right there, I'm not going to get an accurate test of how much I can get in here, so I'm going to need to find another location in this quadrant. So let me go do that. All right, so I came over here. The old area that I was gonna dig down before I found that big cave was over there somewhere. So I'm actually gonna dig right here, and hopefully there's no cave underneath to stop me from doing the test that I want to do, or at least no major cave. And hopefully that's the case. Well, this is just fantastic. This quadrant is just full of caves, which isn't exactly what I'm looking for when I'm trying to do what I'm, testing to make sure that, okay, I can strip mine and I'm able to get more ores or not. So I think I'm just going to call this quadrant bunk. At least until I'm going to do another couple poke holes probably on my own time, and then maybe next episode I can show you the difference. So yeah, I'm just gonna go gather some of the resources that are in here because yeah, I definitely need the gold and I need the diamond. All right, well, I barely escaped out of there with my life, but I did get a good amount of diamonds and some gold, and got some red mushrooms. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of poke holes on my own, dig down, see if I can find an area that is not cave, because that cave actually did connect over to that cave over there. So yeah, I'm gonna need to find a nice little area in this quadrant. So I'm just gonna go back, and I think that's all for this episode. I want to say thanks for coming along with episode 6 of Retrospective Progression. If you liked the video, give it a like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Later.